December 7th, 1941. A date which will live in infamy. On this quiet Sunday morning, the United States found itself thrust into World War II when the Empire of Japan launched a surprise attack on Pearl Harbor. In the next 10 minutes, we'll uncover what led to this fateful moment, the attack itself and its lasting consequences. To understand why Pearl Harbor was attacked, we must go back to the 1930s. Japan, seeking to expand its empire, invaded China and later occupied parts of Southeast Asia. The United States, condemning this aggression, imposed economic sanctions and cut off Japan's access to critical resources like oil. Japan faced a choice: negotiate or go to war. Japan's military leaders saw an opportunity. If they could cripple the US Pacific Fleet, they believed they could dominate the Pacific without interference. For months, Japanese spies gathered intelligence on Pearl Harbor, meticulously planning a decisive strike. At 6 a.m. on December 7th, 6 Japanese aircraft carriers launched over 350 warplanes. Their target, the US Pacific Fleet, stationed at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. At 7:55 a.m., the first wave of bombers and torpedo planes struck. The first targets were airfields. Japanese fighters strafed runways, destroying American planes before they could take off. Then, torpedo bombers descended upon Battleship Road, dropping deadly payloads into the harbor's waters. The attack was devastating. Within 2 hours, battleships like the USS Arizona and USS Oklahoma were sunk. Over 2,400 Americans lost their lives. The US military was caught off guard and the damage was catastrophic. Survivors recall the horror: men trapped below decks, fires raging across the water, and the deafening roar of explosions. The USS Arizona, struck by a massive bomb, exploded violently, sending a fireball skyward. To this day, over 1,000 sailors remain entombed within its wreckage. The day after the attack, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed Congress, calling December 7th a date which will live in infamy. Within hours, the United States declared war on Japan, officially entering World War II. The attack united the nation and changed the course of history. The Japanese had hoped to cripple American naval power, but in reality they awakened a sleeping giant. In the months that followed, America mobilized, launching a massive war effort that would eventually turn the tide in the Pacific.